and more. Deuce and more. Deuce and more. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
We are
When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show.
It's been an emotional week. The road trip coming to an end. The Kings in a new era, and it starts with a big fat road win.
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, but how about those Kings? That gritty ass win tonight.
Okay.
Oh.
That was fun.
A lot of jaw jacking over the last day or so. We finally get back to basketball. And tonight, what did we see, Morgan Reagan? What did we see? We saw a team.
Oh.
I saw some dogs out there tonight.
Yeah.
Doing some barking.
Some tired dogs.
Some a tired dog, but I got free throws tonight. Malik Monk, dog. Give that guy some love, Morgan Reagan.
All the love for Malik Monk.
Dude, it's been a week.
It's been a week.
A win in Minnesota. 116-114 to end the long road trip that's had so much drama.
Drama, which I love drama, but definitely don't like drama when it can directly impact me.
I asked for at least 3 wins. I wanted 4 on this road trip. They got 2. But I also didn't anticipate De'Aaron Fox getting traded on this trip. All right? So we will go ahead and adjust expectations. Go, at least you came back above 500 at 25-24, getting ready for a matchup against the Orlando Magic on the home floor in Zach LaVine's Kings debut. And De'Aaron Fox no longer here. DeMar DeRozan is here. I meant to say DeMar's name. That's why I said De'Aaron.
Got it.
DeMar was very happy after this win. By the
He
way. We'll talk
was.
about
He
that.
was.
How
Yeah.
you doing though?
I'm good. You know what I'm kind of feeling right now?
What?
This, like,
I mean, we have worked 10 days in a row here.
and I think I'm feeling the almost like the relief. Like, we did it. We did it. Like, we get tomorrow.
You didn't play tonight.
It feels like I've been playing for 10 days
I see.
straight.
Yeah, we're off tomorrow. That's it.
10,
Hell yeah.
10 I mean, again, people have way more difficult lives, jobs, all the things.
Give me a hell yeah.
But when you just shove 10 together sometimes, and you're just like, you're at the finish line.
This
and
has
it's
been
just like,
unlike
I deserve this. I deserve
Morgan, this 10-game
was
run that we've had has been a little different. It feels challenging at times because, one, we give a shit and we want the team to win, and they haven't been winning. And then you had all like, hey, there's drama.
I think that's
De'Aaron,
what's getting me
De'Aaron
too.
traded, and then it's like, oh my God, and there's games. But guess what? We're here, and as someone said in the chat, it's a new era. Welcome to Sacramento. Dude, Zachtown, all you guys that Sean in the chat, I love that shit. I love that so much. A new era. Oh no, this is different fog. How about those Kings? Oh, on the road. End of a road trip. Emotions everywhere. Anthony Edwards back. Nas Reed back. The Kings don't care. DeMar DeRozan. Is this guy for real? The old man with 33 points. 21 in the second half. Oh. But don't get me started.
Oh, don't get him started.
Malik Monk, they had the defense keyed on him. They said, no more De'Aaron Fox. We'll throw McDaniels at you. We'll throw blitzes. You know what Malik said? It doesn't matter what you throw at me because I'm Malik Monk. Pretend like the fog's shooting out. Oh my.
Oh, dude, I can't do this anymore. Too much fog.
Malik Monk playing over 40 minutes tonight. Big free throws, big plays, leading the team and saying, hey, I can do this in the starting role. I don't care if Zach LaVine's here or not yet. We are getting a W. And how about young Keegan Murray? 17 points in the first quarter. Oh, give me more fog, basketball God! I said more fog!
Okay. There you go. There you go. Oh, wow. Woo! Sacramento.
Finally, LaVine has come to Sacramento. If you smell, I'm not gonna do it.
That was good.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay.
How are we doing, everybody?
Great.
How are we doing? Happy Monday.
Is it Monday?
Days don't matter right now. We are just here. Didn't you say you had a song about tonight?
I mean, not really. I just thought it was fitting.
Go ahead.
Dude, you're such a dick.
We got vibes tonight.
All I said
King's
was
got the win.
that.
No, commit to it. Don't try to downplay it. Commit
But
to it.
I don't have lyrics to it, but I'll just try.
Okay.
All I said was, I was like, oh, an Adele song would make sense for a goodbye for De'Aaron because Rich Paul and Adele married.
Oh, I get it.
So, yeah. And then I was like, oh, it's like bittersweet. So then it's the someone like you.
Okay.
But I mean, okay, I'm going to try and just shove some new lyrics in it right now. Okay.
Just lead up has been hilarious.
I heard that you've settled in and you've found a new number that is really fitting.
Oh my God, tomatoes.
I've
That's
heard that
embarrassing.
that your dreams came true. That they gave you things that we couldn't give to you.
Okay, now you got something. You got something.
I don't know the. Okay, then you'd have to
get
just
to
go
the
to the
goddamn
chorus. Never mind, I'll find a point guard too. I wish nothing but the best for you. Ooh, don't forget me. Like you literally are putting me on the spot for a fucking Adele song. She's really good at singing, and there's a lot of lyrics to go over. I don't even know the words.
Okay. Jeez. All right, dude, we give you an A for effort, man. A D minus for improv, but an A for effort. Like, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
like,
okay. No. You're right. You do it.
Morgan, this whole podcast is improv for me.
Okay, then do an Adele song.
I don't know.
Do your Macy Gray song.
I didn't have a song.
I didn't have one either. Do your Macy Gray song.
This is when Morgan gets she had a tough moment and she can't accept the L, so she's like, I need Deuce to look dumb now. That's what
it's not
need.
about you looking dumb.
Okay.
It's about
we are
you.
moving on.
No. Do your Macy Gray song. Do your Macy Gray song. I'm making you do your Macy Gray song.
There's no Macy Gray song.
I try to. Remember?
Yes, I just sang this song.
That's the same thing I did with Adele. Deuce was doing this. I try to say goodbye and I choke. I try to walk away and I stumble. And he was trying to think of a De'Aaron goodbye song.
I was trying to inspire you is what I was trying to do. Let's have some fun tonight. You ready? Deuce and Mo. We're coming out in 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Oh, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. What a journey it's been watching the Sacramento Kings this year. Last month and a half, we've seen a coaching change. We saw 13-19 start. Then we saw the upswing, 7 in a row. Vibes are perfect. And then they weren't. Storm clouds over Sacramento. They make a big trade yesterday. De'Aaron Fox to the San Antonio Spurs. Kevin Huerter to the Bulls. J-Mac went with Fox too. And the Kings get back Zach LaVine and CD Sissoko. How are the Kings going to respond after the trade? Did they get enough for the trade? All those questions were lingering as the Kings were trying to secure a win at the end of a long 6-game road trip where they were just 1-4 with a win over the Nets. The opponent, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Naz Reid back in the lineup. Ant Edwards in the lineup. And this is a game after the T-Wolves lost to the Wizards. So what was going to be in store? A Kings win. They find a way to get it done behind DeMar DeRozan's 33 points, Malik Monk money, Keon Ellis, and how about Keegan Murray with 17 points in the opening quarter? Sacramento gets a huge road win in Minnesota, 116-114. They're now 25-24 on the season. This podcast presented by our friends over at Centivo Vineyards and Winery. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
So good. Just amazing. It's been a time, and I'm just really glad that there was a W tonight.
Man, it's been a crazy stretch, an emotional stretch, and you could tell that these players were feeling it the last couple of games. That game against Oklahoma City, the game against Philly, you're like, oh my goodness, like this team, like how do you get out of this? Then you make the trade yesterday. This is one of my favorite wins of the season.
Whoa.
Yeah, because it's just you don't have your reinforcements yet. You don't get like the boost of Zach LaVine yet. You had to find a way after being on the road for this long to come together and grind out a victory.
Yeah.
Guys had to play different roles. Malik Monk, this guy had so much more attention on him tonight. Usually when the Kings play Minnesota, McDaniels is on De'Aaron Fox, right? Tonight, they were playing Malik Monk so tight. I mean, they were all over him. Their best defenders, trapping, blitzing, doing anything they could, and he fought through it and found a way to have a big night tonight. It's a huge credit to Malik Monk, who is showing that, hey, we try to pencil him in as a 6th man. We try to box him in. Then he finally starts like, oh, he's a good player. In his first game without De'Aaron Fox, with the defense all over him, has 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists in this one. Malik was spectacular. And how about the block he had on Gobert?
That was so fun. And I mean, you just think about how gassed he was by the fourth quarter. And it's something that Deuce and I have talked about many times, like, oh, you know, just like having to put everything on your shoulders. What are you going to be like at the end of the game? What's your conditioning going to be like? You know what you're going to get from De'Aaron. We've seen it throughout all of his years. He can be the fastest player on the court and still just somehow last throughout the entire game. And Malik hasn't been given those opportunities. And now he's getting more and more with those 40-minute looks or whatever it may be. And I just love the way that he was knocking down big free throws, making big plays like that with the block, but then also like taking some shit from Rudy Gobert, getting back up and then coming in. And was that the bank shot right after that? Or it was just at least a mid-range shot, whatever it was, right after getting knocked in the ribs and just coming back in. And I was worried because I was like, they need Malik out. They needed every body that they could get out there.
Yeah, they were really physical with him. It seemed like anytime he got inside the paint, he was getting clobbered.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'd get a call. Wait, Malik shot tonight 4-4 at the free throw line. Those were the late ones. But I thought he handled the physicality well. And it's an adjustment, dude. And then the other part of it, and let's just be honest about it, on the other end, they were trying to put him into action and attack him defensively. What's a good way to get a guy exhausted? Make him have to switch out and defend some of the better guys. Let's put him in action so he's got to defend. And oh, by the way, he's got to go do on the other end to create, push the pace. There's a lot of responsibilities. So it was like, let's fatigue Malik Monk. We know his defense is not something he's known for, right? Like from a size perspective, he's got the athleticism, and I think he's done some nice things defensively, but teams are still going to look to target him, and they're also going to look to tire him out. He fought through it tonight.
Yeah.
And I loved everything about what he was able to do.
I'm totally with you. And I do have to mention this because it's kind of funny. I've seen several people be like, the wine is hitting Morgan. Sentivo is hitting Morgan. I need to let everyone know we just got back from San Francisco. I just got back into the studio and I've had one sip of this wine. Okay. If I look exhausted, I apologize. Just know it's like that Malik Monk dogging me. I'm like fighting through some things.
It's 10 days in a row. 10 days in a row,
like fighting through. And like, it's been emotional the last 24 hours because of everything. But at the same time, even tonight with the win, we were there in the first half and we were like, oh, this game feels like it's going by fast. Like a good thing, you know, so then we can get back home and podcast. But at the same time, when the game ended, I was just so entertained. It was adrenaline. I was feeling good. What?
Just a fair question. A couple people in chat were wondering how big was the sip that you had? Because that wouldn't matter.
It was 8 ounces. Why?
I have not had a sip yet. We'll say cheers right now.
Cheers.
And we got so much to talk about with this game.
Second sip.
And also just like the last 24. Like,
yeah.
How's everybody processing things after a day? You know, it's funny reaching the stages and reading comments on our stream from yesterday, and people are like, "Oh, dude, you away from the bridge now?" I didn't feel like I had that. I mean, I really like Zach LaVine. I think I was just feeling all the emotions. Like De'Aaron was here from when he was 19 until 27. He was one of my favorite players on and off the court.
Yeah.
And like there's like a little sadness of him just like, oh, this era being over. When you see this player that you've watched for 8 seasons and you've seen the highs and lows, and then when you see them get to the playoffs, you expect the highs to continue, and then it goes, oh, whoa, this is not kind of what I anticipated. And there was definitely me processing my emotions live within minutes of the trade. And as time has gone by, like I feel like I'm in a better spot with everything.
Well, and it's so weird too. And just because I know we're going on tangents, but we'll talk more about the game. But like even the night before when we were talking about the Luka and AD trade, because we don't have that connection to the team or the players.
It was all excitement.
It was just pure excitement. It was like, holy shit. And then that's why the next night when it was a trade, it was like, how do you still show this excitement while also feeling all these different emotions about someone that you cared about while they were here for so long? And even just to give love really quick to Kevin Herter, who put out a note today. Yeah. And I thought his note, his goodbye, his thank you, whatever, was really special because I know it's been really difficult the last 2 seasons for him. But that first season, when he mentions the Beam team and just how success isn't always linear, and he wished he basically could have had more success.
He said, what a roller coaster these last 2.5 years have been. Yeah, you could say that again. It was truly a special to play for a city that loves and embraces their team so much. Coming here, I didn't really know what to expect. I was living on the West Coast for the first time and playing for a new organization, but this place quickly made me feel at home. I will never forget the excitement of the first #Beam team and ending the long playoff drought. Success isn't always linear, and I wish we were able to accomplish more in my short time, but I'm excited for a fresh start. Thank you. I wish the fans and the team nothing but the best.
It's just sweet. And I don't even think we really were processing that because you were dealing with a franchise piece and Zach LaVine coming and all these different things. And so that's why I guess then when we did get to tonight, when the Kings got the win.
You need... First of all, I think I just need basketball that didn't have a looming distraction. And the deadline's still like Thursday.
Sure.
And there's more could happen. But this one just felt like it was lingering. And you could see it on the court. You had reports every other second, like from San Antonio to random Twitter accounts to local to national. And it just felt like almost overwhelming.
Yes.
And I think yesterday, once the trade happened, there was me like sitting here processing it like, okay. Wow, this is a lot. How do I feel? And I'm like in this moment live trying to understand how I feel about it. And I think what I've reached with it now is like, I think I handled it better when we first found out Rich Paul came to town. I'm like, the writing's on the wall. He's going to be gone. And I think what I've come to realize is like, dude, there is almost nothing that could have changed this year that would have changed the outcome of De'Aaron Fox's future in Sacramento. Like, I am of the belief, and I could be wrong on this, that even if they had traded earlier this year for a Cam Thomas, or they made another trade and added and addressed those weaknesses, it may have helped the Kings earlier. Yes, we can all acknowledge that. But realistically, where would that have brought the Kings? Would they have been a championship contender? Probably not. Best case scenario, let's just say they get to the second round and they get eliminated in 5 or 6 games. Is De'Aaron still staying?
Right.
Or is he still going, yeah, I don't know, kind of trade me. I think I think that what we realized is once Rich Paul came to town, it was a wrap. And that's all there is to it. And I don't have any disdain toward De'Aaron Fox. I'm happy to see his opportunity. I'm always going to be a fan of his, but I think had moves been made in previous years, we'd maybe be having a different conversation. Those moves weren't made, and I think this was going to be the outcome no matter what. And so you deal with it. And I think what made it even more challenging is you saw the reports out there that said he'd be interested in signing an extension either in Sacramento, if it worked out, or San Antonio. Nowhere else. And that handcuffs you as a team. How are you going to open up for bidding if
teams know this and they know that you're just a rental? Guess what? They're just like, okay, well, I'm not mortgaging my future for a rental, and we know this, but we also know that you're putting yourself in a desperate position. So your back's to the wall. What you want? You're not going to get much. And that's why, hey, you got a star and you got picks. And considering the circumstances, just like so many people are saying, I'm totally with it as well.
Yeah, and I think that they were limited as to what they could have gotten. And I think that the path was either, all right, let's hold out and try to get maybe one of the like a Castle and picks and go young there.
Yeah.
But I think like the priority for them, for better or worse, whether we agree with or disagree, is they want to find a way to win. And their thought was you get LaVine and then you try to make some more moves before the deadline. Let's see what it looks like. And that's where we're at. So that's kind of my thought on it as I had more time to process it. It still stings, and I wish things could have been different the last couple of years. They're not. This is where we're at. And you had to move. This is the NBA.
Hey.
You move on.
And guess what? The Kings are now 4-0 without De'Aaron Fox on the floor.
I was watching Keegan Murray in that first quarter tonight. He had 17 points in the first quarter. Finished with 19. Let's start with the 17.
Yeah.
Dude, him coming out like that, I'm like, God, what? I'm sitting there going, Fox holding him back? Like, what the hell? This guy's looking like Zach LaVine. He's hitting threes, hitting tough twos. He's attacking. I loved how Keegan Murray came out in this game. And he set the tone, right? He was 5 of 5 early on. I will say this, the young guys, Keegan, this is a habit of theirs. You got to always be a threat with the ball.
Yes.
Don't pass up looks. And I thought Keegan in that second half, there were a couple of times it was like he wasn't trying to be a threat with the ball. And I'm like, look, I know the defense and it may be a little different. They're putting more pressure on you. The lanes might not be there, but you have to look to be a threat like you were in that first quarter where you were outrageous.
The defense adjusted in the second half. But if you want to be a good NBA basketball player, you have to adjust with it.
Yep.
And you didn't see that necessarily happen. And at times it's going to be hard too, because look, there's going to be more attention on you because there's not a threat out there like De'Aaron Fox, although you are getting another threat in Zach LaVine. So what are you going to do to also change that mindset if teams do adjust on you, though, like that in the second half? You still got to be big. You still got to be strong.
He finished in this game, though, with 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 of 11 shooting, 2 of 4 from downtown, 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 2 offensive rebounds. I just loved how he came out, and that was huge. Sacramento had 38 points in the first quarter. First game without De'Aaron Fox. After a trade, shorthanded, the Kings offense scores 38 on the road.
Yeah.
And takes a 4-point lead after one. And so I love what I saw from Keegan. I hope he can build off this because that's the type of aggressiveness and that's the type of thing you want to see. I mean, that turnaround he had on Ant, he's hitting tough threes, he's beating the shot clock.
He's crashing the board,
Dude,
7 rebounds tonight.
Yes,
and I thought the way that he was being aggressive and crashing just allowed someone like Sabonis kind of allow him to let the game come to him because he had a slow game. in the beginning of the game, right? He started off slow. And I don't know what was going on. It felt like shots were short. It felt like there was times when he was getting hit and he kept looking at the officials. And I understood it. Like Rudy Gobert's pulling his little bullshit moves, whatever. Yeah. And it's like, I completely understand it. But I've also seen him just like become a beast and rip everyone's head off too.
Yeah, and Sabonis finished this game 5 of 15 shooting, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. They were brutal with him down low, and then he was missing like all of his shots short.
Yes,
right? Like the threes were short, the mid-range short, and yeah, I'm sure there's part of him he's a little tired, and he's been playing a lot of minutes here, end of the road trip. I'm sure, and that's the thing with him. I'm like, he can have a 5 of 15 night. Okay, he's allowed to. He's allowed to. This guy's been a model of consistency this year. And, you know, you don't want it to turn into like a 7-game thing. But with Sabonis, it doesn't typically do that. He has a game or two where he's off, get some rest, and get ready. Like the guy has been a monster all year. And I thought he still did some great job. He did a great job still impacting the game just with his body, dude. Yes. The way he boxes guys out, the Kings out-rebounded Minnesota tonight. They out-rebounded because they brought that type of fight that we didn't see against Oklahoma City. But some of that is just Sabonis like boxing the fuck out of Gobert so someone else can get a rebound.
Well, and I know we can talk more about him too, but Trey Lyles was doing the same thing.
Trey
he was
awesome
putting
tonight.
a body on Gobert and it's like, I'm pushing you the F out. And then what I loved is Gobert's like, no, someone's fundamentally boxing me out and like didn't know what to do. And it was just like, yeah, that's exactly how you do it when you're the undersized guy out there. Trey Lyles was doing a good job of that, but you're exactly right. Sabonis really just started understanding how he can still be impactful when it felt like things weren't falling. And he was, because we've seen games like this from Sabonis where we're like, ooh, that wasn't the best. And they got the L. Where tonight, everyone just kept pushing together. And that's what I think ultimately the togetherness helped them get the win.
And he made some big free throws late, Sabonis. Mm-hmm. I do want to shout out the massive crowd that's here hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to Lando who says, Zach LaVine. Sacramento, Zach LaVine. There's just so many fun. I like that. I like that. I appreciate the massive crowd hanging out with us tonight.
Give me a hell yeah.
But I do have something to ask. Believe it or not, after the last couple of days, we are close to 20,000 subs.
Yes.
We are under 100 subs away from 20,000. I would love to hit that mark. I'd love to hit that 20,000 mark and keep it going. So if you haven't subscribed, just do it. It's free. It just helps us grow. Also, the other thing you could do, and I see it happening right now, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up. We have, 1,200 plus people in here, and we have like 191 thumbs up. It's literally a slap in the face.
It went up to 200.
It's a slap in the face.
To Deuce Mason.
To DeMar DeRozan.
Oh.
To Malik Monk's effort tonight.
Oh my God.
I'm putting... That's how you think of them? No, seriously, though. Hit the thumbs up. And it's not like, hey, at the end of the night, I look at it and go, Morgan, I'm getting 1,000 likes. Yay! Who people like us?
Yeah, he does.
It's just an algorithm thing. It helps people find us
He's
and discover
lying.
us.
He does that. And that's the voice he
Is that how
does.
you
And
do?
every time I'm like,
we got 1,000 likes.
creeped out every time.
So anyway, appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
That should be
guys.
at like 600 plus right now, if you guys weren't lazy.
They get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so we talked some Sabonis. We talked some Keegan. We talked about Malik. To DeMar DeRozan.
Let's talk about DeMar because there's just moments in this game. There's so many little moments where he like has this turnaround jumper or like a long 2 or even a 3. And we're like, no, yes.
He definitely leads the league in no, yes plays.
Yes.
And the ball gets sticky with him sometimes. But he also made some great reads. He had a dish inside to Sabonis at the last second where Sabonis beat the shot clock. You're like, you knew how much time was on the clock and somehow found him that late. It was a spectacular play. But
oh yeah,
DeMar with 33 points. He had 21 in the second half, a big third quarter with 12. He also had 7 assists, 5 rebounds, no turnovers. And when you don't have like necessarily a true point guard on the floor, he was handling a lot and, only no turnovers in this game. 7 assists.
I mean, that's impressive. The ball's in his hands a lot, but also it goes back to what we started this podcast with, talking about Minnesota's defense, especially the on-ball defense with those long arms and how active Ant was being, McDaniels was being. And You think about that pressure and not being that true point guard. Yeah, like he's been in these positions before. He knows what the hell he's doing, but there's still a different type of pressure on all of a sudden in this game when you lose your point guard. And for him to step up in so many different ways, not only being able to take care of the basketball, but also make such a big impact on the offensive end. 14 of 25, knocked down 2 threes. But I think he would have had another one if his foot wasn't on the line.
Dude, he's starting to become like Mitch Richmond back in the day. Mitch would always have his foot in the line. I'm like, DeMar, can you just step this shit back, man? But yeah, knocking down a couple of big threes. And the play he had late, that attack. Oh my God. It's just so impressive to see his scoring ability. Like, still doing it. It's the model of consistency. Like, he gets to his spots. He's defended. It doesn't matter. He's going to take it, and he's going to feel good about the results. We actually talked to him after the game, too, which is fascinating because he not only talked about, like, the last 24 hours, but let me tell you this, Morgan. I knew he'd be, like, excited to reunite with Zach LaVine, but, man, I felt like when we asked him about Zach LaVine, he lit up. Here's our conversation after the game with DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar, what a win. What was it like to get a win after these last 24 hours?
It's been crazy. You know, there's been a lot going on, not just the last 24 hours, kind of like the last month and a half, however long it's been. But we prevailed. We came together as a team. We knew it was going to be tough, and we stuck it out.
What was it like emotionally, though? You know, I know a lot of these guys with so many long relationships and everything, I'm sure emotionally it was different as well.
Yes, especially for a couple of young guys, you know, first time experience something like that. You know, we all wish Foxy the best. You know, it sucks to see a brother leave, but, you know, we got a job to do, and we got to keep pushing forward, next man up.
You mentioned this has been a long month and a half. How have you guys been able to stay together during this time?
You know, just expressing the best experience is going through something. You know, we've been going through a lot. The only way to get out of that is, you know, prevail through it. You know, I think that's one thing we definitely been doing together as a team. It's been ups and downs, but we kind of just stick together through it all.
Your old buddy is joining this team, Zach LaVine, reunited with him. What do you think he brings to this team?
Everything. And that's one of the most talented players I ever played with in my career. You know, it sucks. My last 2 years in Chicago, he wasn't healthy. Our first year together, me and him making an all-star game together, you know, just shows the talent that he is and the capability he's able to do. It's amazing. You know, I can't wait till the fans get a chance to witness it.
Well, we're excited to have you guys all come back home. Congrats on a win, DeMar. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
There's DeMar DeRozan with us after the game. That's a... yeah.
Everything. He answered everything when you asked. What was the exact question?
Everything. That's one of the most talented players I've ever played with in my career. He's played with some talented players, and like he did not hold back about his feelings about Zach LaVine. And so that was interesting. And then I saw this on Reddit. Someone had posted this. This is from when the Kings were in Chicago a couple weeks back, and Doug Christie was asked about Zach LaVine, and here's what Doug had to say about Zach.
Zach's from my neighborhood, so I know how he gets down. He's just an incredible talent, man. Like, it doesn't surprise me. Like, if you give him space, he can shoot. If you let him get by you, he's aerial. He's got mid-range. I mean, he's a 4-level scorer, in my opinion. Deep three, mid-range, at the basket. He shoots free throws at a high clip. No, it doesn't surprise me. Like, watching the film, yeah, it's going to be fun. But I expect nothing less from neighborhood guys. Yeah.
So there's Doug Christie on Zach LaVine. That was before the trade. That was a few weeks ago when the Kings were in Chicago, calling him a 4-level scorer. I listen to him, I'm like, what's he saying? And he goes, deep three, mid-range, at the rim. And yeah, they grew up in the same area in Seattle. Those Seattle guys like to stick together. You're talking about like Jamal Crawford. It's a lot of talented players who came out of that region, and Doug was one of the first.
Yeah.
And so he takes a lot of pride in that. He loved Zach LaVine when Zach was playing at UCLA, and he was just like talking about how when Zach was at UCLA, he's like, why is this guy coming off the bench there? So he's a big fan, and now he gets to coach him. And so I don't know. It's just interesting to hear DeMar's comments and then Doug Christie's comments.
Yeah. But it's a good thing, right? It's a really good thing. And I'm excited that these guys are excited. And, ultimately there's going to be so many people say De'Aaron Fox is the best player in this trade. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no reason why a new scenery can't help everyone. And even for Zach LaVine being with this team, like DeMar said, that has dealt with so much adversity, and the experience can only build you and make you better. What if they can come together and even create something more special?
I was reading more about I keep saying DeMar. Zach LaVine. We just get all the old bulls, so I didn't know. Is Vucevic coming too to back up Sabonis? I was reading about LaVine in The Athletic, and it was a piece from December where they're talking about kind of how his approach changed. He came into camp with a different mindset, learned a lot about himself over the offseason, and being away from the game from January on, it gave him time to watch film, reflect, all that stuff. And then this year, Billy Donovan was asking him to be, part of the change, which was play with pace. We need to play fast. We're taking more threes. They ranked second in the league in 3-point attempts this year. Take good shots. And LaVine bought in, and he's having the most efficient season of his career, and he's taking more threes than ever, over 7 per game, and hitting them at a 44.6% clip. So you think about how the Kings want to play. They want to play fast. I feel like it's going to be a natural fit. They need 3-point shooting, and I think that's going to be the thing right away that you're going to notice is his efficiency as a shooter, not just from beyond the arc, but at all the levels, his athleticism. I think his ability to cut is going to come up big, especially playing with someone like Sabonis. He's just such a gifted athlete. The Kings need that athleticism. I'm excited to see what it looks like with him.
I know, I can tell.
What's that mean, man?
Your sentences are but they're excited sentences, and that's why I let you roll. You're just rolling, and even with the Zach LaVine stuff, every time you talk about him, it ends up being paragraphs. But I appreciate it because I think you're passionate about it, and I'm excited about your excitement.
You're such a piece of shit. You're such a piece of shit, man.
I do. I promise I do like it. And
yeah, I'm sure you do.
And everything that you said, you took the words right out of my mouth because I don't think I can say much more. Deuce, you guys, it's my favorite thing Deuce does on the pregame show too. I'm just the host and Deuce is the analyst. And with other analysts, I'm talking a lot more. As soon as Deuce comes on, it's literally Deuce's pregame show. And he just goes. But what I love about it is the things you say, they're meaty, they're impactful. They have.
They're meaty. They're like a 55-ounce ribeye with fat on it.
No, I think you have some good things to say. And I think even with everything with Zach LaVine, it's yeah, no, please don't let me add.
Poll question. It's been a day. How are we feeling about the trade? The options better, same, bad, same, we'll see, and worse.
Wait. That's 4. Those are 4 options right here. Just read them again.
How are you feeling about the trade? Better,
okay, or
worse? Okay. And then the next option is same, bad, and same, we'll see.
I love it.
I wish I had a 5th one.
Okay. What are people voting?
47% of the people, the majority, say they're feeling better.
Okay.
While 43% say, I feel the same. We'll see.
Okay.
2% say they're feeling worse. 8% are saying, I feel the same, bad.
I don't know how you're feeling worse. You won.
Sky says, most convoluted poll.
Give me a hell yeah.
Oh my God.
I need you guys to know something. Before the show, I said, hey, Morgan, what do you think about this poll question? I read it. She goes, yeah, that's good. AKA, she wasn't listening to me.
No, I was.
Yeah, dude, that great stuff, man. Yeah.
You know, when he read like same bad, same we'll see, I just thought he was gonna put like we'll see or bad, and then I really see the words same, comma, we'll see, same period, bad. It's good. It makes it great. It makes it even better.
Yeah.
People have to think harder
Yeah,
when they go to vote.
That's the goal there.
Keep voting.
Okay, how about this, Morgan?
Yeah.
We did the poll.
Uh-huh.
We just talked about Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. I want to ask you about your thoughts on Trey tonight. Trey Lyles, who in this game
Yes.
finished with 5 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks in 23 minutes.
Impactful from the start. From as soon as he got on to the court, off the bench, and needing that from the bench so bad tonight. He just looked different. He looked, I don't know if it's bouncy or just like locked in, but you broke down some of his plays on the post-game show after the game, just where he was running everywhere, contesting, verticality, all the different things. There was maybe once or twice where he tries to do that thing where he tries to take a charge or sacrifice his body, but just the timing of it. It's like, no, your arms would have been more impactful and have disrupted in that play.
The play you're talking about, Nas Reed put the ball on the floor
Yes.
and he came over to take a charge and Nas like saw it coming and went around him, like shifted around him and scored. Where you're right, if he just had his body out there, maybe that changes things. But the 2 plays you're talking about, the
Yes.
verticalities, both of them were on Anthony Edwards and they were on ant drives and he just went straight up. And we talk so much about, hey, the Kings don't have a ton of rim protection. Well, sometimes the best protection is just using your size, going straight up with those arms. You don't have to block a shot to be a rim deterrent. You just get big and make it a little more challenging for these guys. And Trey Lyles did that tonight. Kyle Draper mentioned on the broadcast that he was at shoot-around today and that Doug Christie showed film, defensive plays from the Oklahoma City game. How do you find any defensive plays in that one, right?
Possessions, not plays.
Yeah. So he showed all the defensive breakdowns. Oh, would you play the whole game? 70 rebounds for OKC. 74 points in the paint.
We get it.
Anyway, he showed those plays against OKC. Took 4 hours. You know what I mean?
Please
Anyway, he showed the OKC defensive breakdowns, and then he showed how they played defense against the Boston Celtics.
in that game.
A game they won without De'Aaron Fox. Anyway, Boston.
Never forget
in that
that.
game against Boston. I remember Trey's impact in that game.
Yeah.
Because he was doing the same thing. He was in help. He was in that weak side help. He was making sure to be vertical. He's playing big. He was rebounding. He was blocking shots. He was everywhere. He had that same type of fight tonight. And he's got to have that all the time. Now, in all fairness, there's going to be some matchups that are tough for him, more athletic guys, all that stuff. But I thought tonight he really held his own, and his impact off the bench was felt in a major way.
Yeah, and not just jacking up a whole bunch of threes either. Because he would have had more, I feel like he would have even had more looks if he was looking for them as well. Going 1 for 3 from beyond the arc, but just really making himself felt out there with his rebounding, with his presence in the paint on the defensive end. And sometimes there's going to be nights like that where that's where you have to contribute because other guys were also able to get theirs.
You know who else was awesome tonight?
Who?
Keon.
And he was efficient with his time too.
Seeing Keon knock down some threes.
Yep.
He played 34 minutes tonight. He got the start for Sacramento. He had 13 points, 5 of 8 shooting, 3 of 3 from downtown. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He also had 3 steals. He did have 3 turnovers. Not a great number, but that's okay. 3 steals in this one for the Kings. And then the deflections, I don't know if it's all the way updated yet. I'll do a quick refresh on NBA.com here to see. The guy at the moment had 6 deflections.
Let's go.
6 deflections.
Let's go.
And like, that's the type of energy. He had that one play late where he made Nas Reed work so hard, deflected the ball. It was just a great defensive possession. And that's what he does. Like, he wreaks havoc out there. There are going to be some bad matchups for him against some bigger guys too, right? We know this, but I thought he played confident offensively. He turned down some shots early. I think Malik yelled at him at one point, like, stop, like, shoot the ball. But knocking down the threes, the deflections, the steals, I loved what I saw from Keon.
Yeah, and especially he had to start tonight, and what I love is that he's experienced that starting role. So he knows what it's going to feel like with these guys, but also the way that Doug has empowered him throughout this time to be more, to do more, to not be afraid to get yours. And not only him, just like you said, Malik Monk and just others out there showing that leadership. I love his presence out there. I love that he was able to add, obviously, too, on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Like that was neat. It was needed.
It was huge
in this game. Like everyone needed to make sure that they were also going to be a threat on offense.
At the half, they led 67-59, 67 points in the first half.
Yeah.
Now they only had 49 in the second half, 55-49. They had to grind this one out. And I think the biggest thing is they didn't get killed from three by Minnesota after a hot start from three from Minnesota.
My God.
Actually, I want to look at this because they finished 12 of 40 in this game, okay? 12 of 40,
How many did
which
they
is 30%. And in the first quarter, they hit 6 of 11 in the first.
Okay.
6 of 11. That means they were 6 of 29 the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're gonna miss some shots. I thought the Kings had some good contests too. I just thought the effort was there tonight. They really did a nice job on Anthony Edwards. I didn't think he really got going at all.
Well, he didn't, and he was super inefficient tonight. Let's see, he finished 7 of 21. He had 21 points still. I mean, being aggressive, still trying to get his, being that threat. But you're exactly right. I thought they could have moved the ball around better because when they were doing that in the first quarter and things were falling, I was like, oh shit, this is going to go in a weird direction. But Minnesota just does not have it. And Mike Conley knocking down a huge three at the end of this game. So one of their 12 threes that they did make came up big at the end. Yeah.
It was 112, 111 when Conley hits that three on that relocation. Great job by Gobert to get him the rock. He relocated, knocked down the three. Monk goes to free throw line. It's 114, 111 with 6.8. And then this sequence, I think, is big. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yes.
So the ball goes off of McDaniel. Well, we think it goes off of McDaniel's hands, right? But they call it off the Kings. And you're like, God, you just don't want them to get another shot at it. It's 5.9 to go. And first glance, I'm going, that went off McDaniel's.
Yeah.
And Doug Christie had a challenge. Not only did he have a challenge, he had 2 timeouts left.
Yes. Yep. Huge.
I've been saying this forever.
I know. And it's
the challenge late is so meaningful.
Keep
and I know
your challenge.
It's tempted to be emotional and your guys going, hey, review it. That's what I want to review.
Yep. That's what it's for.
And the luxury that, hey, we have 2 timeouts here. We can burn this one. Let's burn it. Let's burn it and take a look. What's the worst that can happen? We're wrong. We still got a timeout left. And so just having those 2 timeouts and having a challenge, great job by the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
And they won the challenge.
They won the challenge. Everything was going in the right direction at that point. And then the Kings were taken out of bounds on the other sideline out of bounds. And it felt like a long 5-second call for a lot of people and obviously Minnesota. But I felt that same way when they were passing the ball inbounds on the other end too.
I think both teams got some sort of advantage. To me, I'm like, 5 seconds? That was like 6.4 seconds.
He's like, oh, I thought it was an 8-second call. I forgot it's only 5. Shoot.
Yeah. That got a little hairy at the end.
Yeah.
But the Kings were able to hold on and get the win tonight. So I thought that moment of the game was really good. God, there was something else I was going to bring up. Oh, the Kings in the second half, it's kind of a crazy stat. In the second half of this game, Sacramento had 49 points, as I mentioned. They had 5 assists in the second half, 5, and 7 turnovers. And I thought Minnesota's defense did a really good job at just slowing the Kings down. I thought the pace slowed down. They would shrink the floor a lot depending on the lineups. They were just making life so hard for the Kings. And they have some good defensive players. But the game slowed down and the Kings looked exhausted. And my point being is that's why on these nights, when you're feeling this way, having someone like DeMar DeRozan that can just go get you a bucket, that has no problem slowing down. You want him to slow it down?
I'll do
Dude
it.
is coming across half court
Yep.
and like backing his guy down.
Yeah,
I'm
half
like-
court line,
I'm
at the half
dude,
court line.
You're at the logo. What are you going to do here? And there were a couple of shots late. You're like, I didn't like that at all.
Well, there was.
What are we doing?
And there was even times too, like you talk about the Wolves doing a good job of
Yeah.
slowing down the Kings. I mean, there was times where they could have been called for maybe a delay of game again because they would mess with the ball as soon as it would go through the hoop, and it's their way of just trying to get that one extra second of Sabonis not taking the ball out of bounds quick and being able to push it up the floor. And you're seeing more and more teams try and get away with that and act like, like, oh, the ball was in their way, whatever it was. But it's because this Kings team does such a good job of just pushing.
Yeah.
And even when they were gassed there at the end, they kept trying to push, but Minnesota did a great job of also
Yeah.
responding.
A lot of stuff late in shot clock for Sacramento during that stretch.
Oh, yeah. That was
so-
scary.
Sometimes you got to find a way, and they found a way. And that's what
found
happens.
a
Hey, you have a good first
way.
half. You get up 67-59. You maybe afford to, only score 49.
Yeah.
But you also held them to 55. So good stuff. In the chat, someone's saying Gobert is whack. Yeah, Gobert is a frustrating guy to watch sometimes. And
when he...
when he almost took off Sabonis' head. Can we just mention that? And he's very lucky he did not connect with Sabonis.
He would have been thrown out.
Oh, no, because I was getting on a plane to Minnesota and I was going to go fight this guy. Gobert,
What were
why
you
is he?
gonna do?
There's not many times in my life that I'm like, hey, me and Draymond, we're on the same page. Like, Draymond choked this guy. I'm like,
Did he deserve it?
No, he's just one of
No.
those guys where I'm like, dude, you cannot be swinging your arm like that. When you hit Monk too,
Dude,
I'm like, did
he hit
Monk
Monk in the
puncture a
air.
lung? Monk was on the ground for 5 minutes. I'm like, is he this like?
He doesn't, I don't know what his problem is. He just sees red or blacks out or whatever it is, and he just does things. And even in
Yeah.
that moment, he's lucky that Sabonis's head had dropped lower than his arm at the time, because he was like just being a little bitchy and like being meh, and like throwing his arm out, and it was gonna just like hook Domas's face. Domas, of course, would have been hit in the face once again in another game. And so, yeah, no, there's just moments where he's just got to control himself. And like, you think about the T-Wolves were in this game. And so like those moments happening can really screw up everything for your team, but it didn't.
It's a bad loss for them,
Yeah.
And they're shorthanded too. We should mention Julius Randle's out for a stretch. Dante DiVincenzo's still out. I'm surprised they don't play Rob Dillingham more. I feel like he gave them good energy.
Sure.
And I think that's been a big point of focus from Wolves fans is like, can this guy get a little more run? I know he's a rookie, but I felt like when he was out there, they had a little more pop offensively. So I was a little surprised by that. And yeah, this is back-to-back home losses for them to the Wizards and the Kings. So not
And
exactly
the Kings
good.
under these circumstances
Yeah.
too. Like
And
those
last game, Anthony Edwards did not play. Like they were banged up last game. We should
Sure,
note
but
that.
this game against the Sacramento Kings, like under the circumstances for the Kings, like that's when you want to get a team when they're like
Yep.
maybe emotionally not locked in,
Yeah.
or like they're
Yep.
they're shorthanded. Kings didn't have Kevin Huerter coming off the bench. They didn't have De'Aaron Fox. Their bench hasn't been productive. And one more person then, Devin Carter, ended up playing 8 minutes, had 2 points, 5 rebounds. I like the way that he was crashing, but then he had a really hard fall and knocked the back of his head.
Dude, he hit his head so hard. His head went back and hit the ground. Yeah, that looked nasty. And he still doesn't look comfortable. I was eager to see him play tonight because I'm like, I wonder if his flow will be better. He is thinking too much out there.
Yeah.
Like completely thinking too much. It's like you just need to go out there and play. And I think when you saw him play with the Stockton Kings in those first couple
my
of games,
God.
he wasn't thinking. You know what he was doing? He was like, I'm Devin Carter. I'm going to play my game.
Just balling.
And I feel like now he's like, here's Sabonis. Like, no, he had one play where it looked like he had a nice floater at the rim.
Oh, yeah.
And last second, he dishes it to Sabonis like a lob, and Sabonis like awkwardly catches it, and like it was not clean. You're like, you don't lob it to Sabonis. Like, it's just go like play your game a little bit, right? And the shot's not falling. That's fine, but I think he is thinking too much out there when he just needs to go out there and impact the game with his rebounding, which you mentioned, just the hustle plays, and then hit your open shots. You're going to get open looks, like just knock them down and don't pass them up. So I don't know. I've been a little surprised at his struggles.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious when it's just gonna kind of come to. I mean, and by the way, with like an opportunity like this, when De'Aaron isn't there, and you could have had even more time if you capitalize on those opportunities. Like that's just what you got to do.
Someone in the chat was mentioning they don't like the white thing behind my head. I'm like, what are they talking about? And I realized it's.
Is it Mr. Sacco?
That's Mr. Sacco. You guys don't. I mean, you know Mr. Sacco. Maybe some of you guys, people in here, don't know Mr. Sacco.
I mean, I wouldn't have known Mr. Sacco.
Mankind, Mr. Sacco, dude. It was signed by Mick Foley.
It's a WWE thing. There you go, Mr. Sacco. It's actually signed by that man. For anyone who doesn't know,
his name's Mick Foley.
I'm just saying,
hardcore legend. Are you
I'm
kidding
just
me?
saying, if anyone didn't know,
Cactus Jack.
not everyone's a wrestling fan, dude.
You don't know Cactus Jack, dude. Love. Have a nice day, kids. If you don't know Mankind, look it up. All right, Mr. Sacco, dude.
And it's signed.
Yeah, man. Oh, can I? I'll save that. But I'll save that.
Save it for what?
I got more coming up.
Okay.
We do need to get some sponsor love in here. Shout out to our sponsors who make this possible, including our brand new presenting sponsor, Sentivo Wines.
Yeah, Sentivo Vineyards and Winery. They are a family-owned winery that crafts just some amazing award-winning wines that we are drinking right now.
Morgan likes them, huh?
You like the wines? I like the wines. I've had 4 sips. But I've had a lot more when I'm not on the podcast. And let me tell you, I'm not kidding. Every single wine has been so delicious, so tasty. Like when you see people say, "Oh, award-winning," that's cute.
Yeah.
They send you all the notes, all the things that everything tastes like. Every single bottle that I've had with Sentivo has been spectacular. But on top of all that, they're one of the best families ever. And that's what makes it so much fun for us to partner with them.
And don't bury the lead. They're also Kings fans, Morgan.
Oh, I'm so
Long-time
sorry.
Kings fans. So support them. They are also proud partners of the Sacramento Kings and Sac Republic. Check out Sentivo Vineyards and Winery. They are legit. Also presented by our friends tonight at Golden One Credit Union. Put up the ones.
We are one.
Like I did when I saw Roman Reigns enter the Royal Rumble. I acknowledge my tribal chief, just like I acknowledge our friends of our Golden One Credit Union.
Okay.
If you join Golden One, you could join up for 50% off Kings home games. What a perk. 15% off merch.
There's so many perks just by becoming a Golden One member. And so if you are looking to, I don't know, have a new financial journey, maybe you just want all these Kings perks, just become a Golden One Credit Union member today.
Yeah, scan the QR code on the screen or go to goldenone.com today. Also, a new sponsor presented by our friends over at
Medic Ambulance. We're thrilled to team up with Medic Ambulance. They are the trusted name in emergency medical services across Northern California. Fun fact, there was a Medic Ambulance, actually right next to us on the way back from San Francisco. I waved over at them. They were like, "Who the hell are you?" But for over 45 years, Medic Ambulance has set the standard in emergency medical services, combining cutting-edge technology, award-winning service, and a deep commitment to community care.
Yes, from life-saving responses to being the team behind the scenes at all your favorite events, Medic is there to serve when seconds matter. Trust the professionals setting the standard in patient care. Medic is the official emergency medical response partner of Sac Republic and Sac State Athletics. Learn more at medicambulance.net. Appreciate everyone's support of the Deuce and Mo podcast. Bang, bang!
What's that?
That's another
Is
Mick
that
Foley
Cactus
thing.
Jack?
Yeah.
Is it?
Come on, man. Mankind, Cactus Jack, dude, love. We're all together, man.
See, and like to people that don't know, you have to explain like all those, like that's the same person and why.
I don't have to explain it. They can look it up for themselves.
Okay. Yep.
We got a couple more things we need to hit on
Sure.
tonight. I got the most random phone call on the way back to the studio tonight. Any guesses who called Deuce Mason? Who called Deuce Mason on the way back?
Well, I know.
You guys won't be able to guess.
You'll never be able to guess. But I love this.
John Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton's dad called me tonight.
Love it. Love it.
Love that man.
Deuce gets along with all the dads since Deuce doesn't have a dad.
Yeah, they're
so-
all my dads.
Yes.
So he called me. He's just like, what happened? Why'd they trade Fox? I'm like, well, where do you want me to start? I'm like doing a full-on podcast.
You're like, there's layers.
There's layers. I mean, what do you want to know? And he's like, oh man, it's crazy. Like, they could have had Tyrese if they moved Fox before. I'm like, I know. There's a lot of things that they could have done different. I don't know what to tell you.
You're like, I didn't think of this, John. I didn't think about all this.
Oh,
Come on now.
Cracked me up. And then he was talking about how he still watches our stuff and how he was
Cute.
laughing at about last week when Morgan was cramping on the podcast. That's a bold woman, is what he said. Anyway, so John
that's
Halliburton is the best, and it was interesting to like try to. Well, here's what happened. He goes, "Oh yeah, man, they traded Harrison Barnes too. I like Harrison Barnes." I'm like, yeah, I know. Well, they got DeMar DeRozan in that deal. Anyway,
cute.
I thought of that because Tyrese Halliburton was at the Royal Rumble and we're doing all those wrestling references too.
I see. Yeah.
A couple people wondering if it was Coach Nick calling. No, I talked to Coach Nick a few weeks back, probably about a month ago. He's doing well. I just don't know that he's locked in with the Kings anymore, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. People go through different things, right?
I saw people tonight that were like, I'll tune in and do some mo, but I'm not tuning into the game just because they're just upset because they're upset with the Fox trade.
Oh.
You know, but then once they see it's a win, I'm sure they're going to be like,
Dude.
wait.
You
What
talk
did
about-
I miss?
You talk about upset. How about Mavs fans?
Oh my God.
No, there's been like a revolt. Like fans, they literally crushed their fan base. Like
yeah.
it's hurting people.
Yeah.
Like there are people who are switching allegiances. There's a guy at a Grizzlies game tonight and said, I'm now a Grizzlies fan. Like people are leaving because they don't like the direction of the organization, the fact that they traded 25-year-old generational talent.
Well, and I guess, you know, you look at that and they feel like the disconnect from the front office to their fan base is just like way too much. Like it's like they don't care, they're not listening. Where I feel like at least in a place like Sacramento, you have no choice but to like feel the pulse of the Kings fans. You know, like you're still going to make your moves and do what you feel like you need to do. But I felt like what the Mavs organization did and how they did it just was the last straw.
Yeah. And then they kind of buried him on the way out, which I don't think on our live stream we acknowledge enough. Like the fact that like immediately it was like sources close to situation. We're talking about his weight, blah, blah,
Show a
blah.
photo.
I got to be honest
Yeah.
though, when Luka got off the plane today, I went, because there was a report that he's close to 270. And I was like, okay, like what are we doing here? Like relax. And then you see a video of him and you're like, oh, I mean, okay. He's hurt right now.
He's a big guy.
What did he say in his video? Let's find out.
What's up, Laker fans? I'm in LA. Excited to meet you all.
Thanks, Luka.
Yeah, he could just be like have some inflammation. I know how that is.
Dude, he's a thick guy. Hey, it's wintertime, man. We all put on a little pat. We're cold. Just like eat some snacks. He's out right now. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
That talking point though is so annoying
It's
because I'm just like, okay, to immediately put that out, they could have handled the situation so much better. And did you see any of Nico Harrison's press conference?
I didn't
Morgan?
actually see it, but I know it happened like pretty quickly after everything
man.
went down, which was, I mean, it's good that he came out and started talking about
Well,
it.
that's
right
true.
away.
They did have a press conference, so that's a start.
That's a good start. And, you know, but hearing all the other things that keep coming out, like Rob Pelinka laughing when he heard that they wanted to trade Luka, and then Danny Ainge having no idea that Luka was going to be sent to the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm like, you didn't ask what you were doing in this 3-team trade?
Here's a portion of Nico Harrison yesterday with Jason Kidd talking about the Luka trade.
You mentioned you think this will work in the short term and the long term. Short term makes great sense. How do you see this working out well for the organization in the long term?
Well, I think the long term is the time frame. I think he fits our time frame. If you pair him with Kyrie and the rest of the guys, he fits right along with our time frame to win now and win in the future. And the future to me is 3-4 years from now. The future 10 years from now, I don't know. I don't think they probably bury me and Jay by then, or we bury ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
so
He
great.
started the press conference with like a joke too about something about like Jason Kidd pregame or something. Never done one of these. It was just so awkward. They could have handled it so much better, but it is what it is. They made the move and they got to find a way to move on. But they're the messaging to the fans. They've hurt their fans a lot. And someone in the chat was saying this too. Not that this means everything, but they've lost like 1 million Instagram followers. I'm sure it's part of that's like Slovenia and all the Luka fans, but it's also like some Mavs fans are just like, Mark Cuban's gone. We got this new group. What are their intentions?
Yeah.
They randomly trade a guy that just got us to the finals last year. What? And so I think that's why it's so painful. I didn't mean to get off on a Luka tangent when we did an hour podcast on it, but
wait, when we already did it an hour?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but I mean, it's still interesting when you see new things come out. And obviously, we're still in this place in Sacramento. Like, we just broke down this entire win over the Minnesota Timberwolves, but within it, we keep talking about Zach LaVine. We keep talking about De'Aaron Fox because that is still all so fresh, dude. Everything happened yesterday.
dude, it feels like it's weird.
It was a month ago.
Yeah, I don't know what it feels like. It's there's so much that has happened since then. The Kings play coming up on Wednesday.
Yes.
A very interesting schedule for the Kings. So they play Wednesday at home against Orlando. The Magic on the road today playing the Warriors lost 104-99. They have lost 9 of 10. Such a weird season for them because, Banchero goes down and they played hard and they were winning games. And then Wagner goes down and they were playing hard and winning games. Both guys are back now. Jalen Suggs has been missing time. And now they've lost 9 of 10. Just kind of bizarre, right? So they're now 24-27. Losers of 9 of 10. They come to Sacramento coming up next. In the game, Banchero, 18 points on 9 for 24. The last time he was in Sacramento, it was an unbelievable performance. I think that was a double OT game, if I'm not mistaken, last year.
That the game that they had their franchise record in threes or something?
It's a good question, Morgan.
I think
I'm
it
so
was.
glad you asked. Yeah,
I know,
but they lost that game, though. The Kings won that game in double OT, right?
But I think it was.
Wow.
I think it was the game that they still were knocking down every
because they
single
came
three.
into the game like one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. And, God, good memory. I'm really proud of your memory right now, Morgan.
Well,
that's not usually a gift of yours.
It's not. It's not. But that one crushed my soul because I remember they were just knocking down 23. Was it 23?
It was 138-135. Orlando in that game hit 25 of 44 from 3. Suggs hit 6. Banchero hit 6.
Yep.
Caleb Houston hit 4 of 6. Are you shitting me?
Dude.
Okeke hit 3 of 4. He's not even in the league right now. That night, the Kings, let's see here. The starting lineup, De'Aaron Fox, Chris Duarte, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, Malik Monk came off the bench, led the way with 37 points in that game in the win. Duarte only played 10 minutes in that game in the starting lineup. By the way, other subplot.
What?
In that 3-team trade that the Kings made with the Bulls and Spurs, they waived Chris Duarte today. So we were talking, Herter and Duarte reunite. No, Duarte's gone. The guy started for us last year.
Well, and I just when I was
not even in the league,
I called games at the G League Showcase, and Chris Duarte was there with the Windy City Bulls, and I called a game with him there, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe.
Damn,
I don't know if he was coming back from injury. I think it was something interesting like that. But obviously there's so much more. So
yeah. So anyway, Orlando's coming up next, but the headline there is Zach LaVine's debut. I think so many people you hear over the years like, hey man, that first game after a long road trip so hard. It is a weird schedule because you come home Wednesday with Orlando, you play the next night, which is in Portland against a Blazers team that all of a sudden is playing better.
Yeah.
They beat the Suns again tonight.
Wait. No, they didn't.
I thought they did.
Did they? I thought I saw something out. Make sure.
Okay. I could be wrong. No, they won in overtime, 121 and 119.
They did.
So back-to-back wins. Do you know what the Blazers are doing recently?
Oh my God.
I have not watched the Blazers game recently.
Thank you for confirming that.
But can you just look at what's happening lately?
Holy.
They were 13 and 28. They're now 21 and 29. They have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of 9. And back-to-back wins against the Suns. Back-to-back wins against the Phoenix Suns.
And their loss was against OKC.
Yes. In that win, too, Ayton had 25 and 20. Denny Avdia has been playing much better. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 dimes. Scoot Henderson with 15 off the bench. And the Suns lose again. The Suns now are 25 and 24, the same record as the Kings.
Love it.
Okay, so my point being is Kings play Orlando Wednesday, Portland Thursday.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about a back-to-back with the trade deadline like that afternoon
Yeah.
of the Blazers game. So it's still going to be an emotional time, distracting time. I think the energy in the building on Wednesday night is going to be electric.
Zach LaVine. It's all those little puns, names, whatever.
Sacramento, Zachtown.
It's all going to be there.
LaVine is in the building.
I love it.
I think there's going to be a buzz, which I think after a long road trip, if you subscribe to the like that first game back so hard, having like a jolt
Yep.
with him there
Yeah.
could be really impactful. Although I think there was talk that his partner was having a child.
Oh, dear God.
So I don't know. Maybe he's a little tired too, you know? So anyway, he's expected to play Wednesday night against Orlando.
Children. Okay.
Dude, I'm starting to get a little juice for Zach LaVine.
As you should be.
I mean, watching him play and seeing, like, I did a breakdown today on TV, and it was against the Kings, and I'm just like, he had one play where Keegan was defending him on the perimeter, and I think Vucevic or someone was coming up to set a screen for him. He waves off the guy, like, get out of my way. And he goes one-on-one with Keegan, a good defender. And he gets him on a jab step and buries a jumper in his face. And I'm just like, this guy is a fucking bucket. And you could say whatever you want about LaVine. Hey, his injury history, that's concerning. His contract's massive. Please stay healthy. But when this guy is healthy, just offensively, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it. And now we can all sit here and acknowledge, like I did 800 times yesterday on our stream after the Fox trade, like, hey, they also, like, they need some more help. Monty and West better make some more trades to get some size. Can Big Valanciunas come to town?
Yep.
That'd be nice. What'd Big Val do tonight, Morgan, against Washington,
What
against
did he
Charlotte? Big Val, 14 points, 17 rebounds, 4 dimes, and a win over the Hornets. Anyway, yeah, get that guy, get some more size. I don't know. Just let's build on this. I think offensively it could be really fun.
I agree. I'm excited for it. I'm juiced. And I'm excited. We'll be on pre and post.
Be on pre and post together. And same with the Portland game too.
Oh no. He finished his wine.
I like that Morgan, after it was talked about that she took a big sip,
Yeah.
has not taken like one sip
Hell
since then.
no. I'm not letting anyone use that against me or my droopy eyeballs tonight. Like,
Can we get some super chats in?
Yeah.
Kyle, shout out to Kyle for being here. He says, Deuce, what do you think about Torrey Craig?
Oh.
Torrey Craig got waived today by the Bulls. too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've liked him in the past. He's kind of the size you need. I know, if I'm not mistaken, he missed some time this year, right?
Let's see.
And let's see, he has played.
Only
he has,
9
Yeah,
games.
he has not played much at all this year, dude. In the past, I've liked him. The Kings do have 2 roster spots, but that's an interesting one to watch. Sean says donate $2 Mo. Congratulations on your Grammy for the Big Purple Beam. Oh, Chaperone won last night, right?
Oh, yeah. I get it. Good bit. Thank you.
Nathan in the chat says, hey, can we talk about what a dirty player Gobert is? Yeah.
Dirty AF.
I don't like it at all. Appreciate the donations from
dangerous.
Nathan. The Real Buddha donates $2 saying, we'll miss you, Fox, but it's still like the beam.
Yes.
Lando says Zach LaVine incoming. Also,
Love it.
shout out to Brandon, who says, I work night shift, so miss most of the games and listen to the show later in the night. Going to day shift soon, so we will see more games live soon. Light the beam. You better still be watching us, you son of a...
And thank you for
thanks
the
too.
donation.
Yeah, for sure. Congratulations on moving the day shift too.
Yeah.
Jose donates to $5. Appreciate that
Thanks,
as
Jose.
well. You guys are literally the best. Any other things I wanted to hit on league wide? Oh, just real fast on the Suns.
Yeah.
I know I said this on the stream yesterday for those who missed it. The Suns, what's happening, man? Like, what are they going to do? There's starting to be some noise that's been reported today that they are listening to offers on Kevin Durant.
Uh-huh.
They are now 25-24 after back-to-back losses to the Blazers. They have lost 3 of 4. They are stuck. They wanted Jimmy Butler. No one wants Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. Okay, so what do you do?
What do you do?
I think they try to trade Durant before the deadline. You know, it sounds like
Correct.
Golden State is definitely interested. Is there a sleeper team in there? I'm trying to, like, in my head go, God, like, people talk about, like, Memphis taking a swing at something. Memphis was a Jimmy Butler team at one point. Could they be a Kevin Durant team? That's intriguing. That just popped into my head right now.
I mean, it's very intriguing.
If they were talking about Jimmy Butler, why couldn't Memphis go get Kevin Durant?
And here's the thing. If Phoenix is getting in that desperate area, are teams able to screw them over with, like, I don't know, sending over picks and some depth for Kevin Durant?
But I think that for them, their cupboards are bare. Like, they don't
Well, and
have,
that's what
they're
I was
stuck in a
wondering,
shit
too.
financial
Okay.
position. It's like,
Oh,
we're
you're
not
talking about
winning-
Phoenix.
Yeah. Who are you talking about?
No, that's I was talking about to the Grizzlies, and I was like, what if the Grizzlies, like, could a team like the Grizzlies, again, we're just throwing this out there, could a team like the Grizzlies, because the Phoenix Suns are stuck, handcuffed, whatever, getting desperate, where they're just like, okay, some picks and some depth for Kevin Durant. You don't have to trade a star.
I don't think
mean-
you're gonna have to trade a star to get Kevin Durant. I don't.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean, I think
wild
I
to
think they're in
think
a
about.
tough spot. But I think Memphis, the Golden State one is interesting. But how does Golden State get it done? From a money perspective, they're either parting with Wiggins and stuff, or they're parting with Draymond Green and stuff. I don't know, man. Like that one. So I just think that I think Durant's going to be on the move, and I just in my head go, why wouldn't someone like Memphis be considering something like that? I know in the chat someone mentioned Oklahoma City, could the OKC reunion there. I mean, that'd be pretty crazy too.
Because they have a whole bunch of picks.
OG Owen says, if you had to give your best bet, who could the Kings honestly pick up? Oh, and you guys rock. Keep up the good work. Appreciate the donation.
Thank you. Who could they pick up? Like,
I mean, I think Valanciunas, like, you have those second round picks now. You can be able to get Valanciunas with some seconds. You hear wild things that they're still trying to chase some things, but it's getting tight now, right? And so what are they going to be? They have to do it.
we will be live during any breaking news, any big NBA trades will be live. But on February 6th, we will be live all morning.
And then that night too.
And then that night as well.
I do have some breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
We have not awarded our Northwest Exterior simply the best player of the game.
No.
Northwest Exteriors. If you need new windows, there's no better place to go than the experts at Northwest Exteriors. They've been around 30 years. Go to their showroom, see their windows yourself. Done it here in the studio. Game changer.
Yep.
Looks good. It feels good in here. You
Saves
feel
you money.
safe. Saves you money on those energy bills. Go trust the experts at Northwest Exteriors, Morgan Reagan, because you know what they say about them?
What do they say?
They are simply the best. Trust Northwest.
Okay, I already know my player.
Go ahead.
It's going to be DeMar DeRozan.
Has to be
Hey,
Debo, dude. Debo. 33 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 14 of 25 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, our simply the best player of the game, presented by Northwest Exteriors. I'm so glad I did not forget that.
How could you?
Gotta give
How-
DeMar,
like, yeah, why
DeMar
would
his
you-
love.
DeMar?
DeMar his love. Yeah, I'm fascinated to see where Kevin Durant ends up.
Oh,
I think he moves.
same.
I like my Memphis thing.
Oh, well, that was a very interesting one that you just like pulled out. I'm like, well, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not?
OKC.
Take a crazy chance.
What do you think about OKC with him? Or do you think they let it ride? I mean, to have another score with SGA, dude. I know Jalen Williams is really good, but like
see,
it
yeah,
alleviates pressure off all of them. It's just another guy.
as long as you don't have to give up.
They have a lot of picks.
I know.
But then how do you match the salary? That's the tough part. How do you match the salary? He makes a lot of money. Ooh, interesting. It's going to be fun to see how it all shakes out. Final thoughts, Morgan Reagan.
Final thoughts. I had so much fun these last 10 days.
Did you really, or are you just saying that now because you're at the end?
I really did. But like, I love my life. I love this career, this job, everything. It's so great. But mostly, even through all the chaos, I love being a part of this Kings community and being with all of you during these 10 freaking days.
Even
straight.
the ones that like disagree and say like,
absolutely.
Like last night we were coping with the loss.
Oh,
dude, they're coping.
But that's fine. But like, how many times?
I'm just kidding.
How many times do I tell you when people don't like something I say? It's like I don't care because I'm my authentic self. Like as long as you're just being yourself and you're kind to people, like do you? And that's what I try to do. But my whole point to all of this is with everything that's been going on, the adversity, the changes, all the things, it is what it is when it comes to sports. And being a Sacramento Kings fan is not easy. And I've had so many people reach out asking me like, hey, I've only been a Kings fan for 2 years. Is this what it's like? And it's like, yeah, are you down for the ride or what? Like ride or die? Like, let's go. And I think because we all have each other, and then obviously tonight, after experiencing a win like this and just seeing a smile on DeMar's face after the game when asking him about Zach LaVine and stuff, I feel good. And I'm excited for what's next.
I like that.
Hey, thanks.
I think for me, this last few days, reading all the stories and tweets and having alerts on and listening to everyone have, opinions on the De'Aaron Fox thing and what's going to happen. You get to a point sometimes where you're like, ugh, this feels like politics. Like,
yeah.
The NBA is political. There's a lot of money on the line. There's power, agendas. There's so many things that happen in the NBA. And my point being is tonight, it just felt good to watch basketball again. You know what I mean? And just like talk about the game and have excitement, like what a win, and not think about, all right, what do you guys think about this guy's body language? Or, oh my God, okay, the win or they lost. And let's take a look at what this guy said after the game. What's the future like? This report. It just, for me, for one night, and I know it's not realistic every night, for one night, just watching the games and not thinking about all the pieces on the chessboard that get played constantly in the NBA. It just felt good. It's like, this is why I watch. I fell in love with the game because I wasn't like reading about drama and rumors. I fell in love with the game because as a kid, I turned it on and I watched these athletes do incredible things. And I'm like, yeah,
don't get me wrong.
Tonight.
I love drama and rumors when it's about other teams. But yeah, when we get to just talk about straight up basketball, when it comes to the team that we root for, cover all the things. Oh yeah.
And as Div says in the chat, really helps that they won.
Hell yeah, it does.
Yep. Hey, we appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with us. Let us know what you thought about the game, what you think about everything, Zach LaVine, all the stuff, the latest with the trade. Let us know. Hit us in the comments after the show. We love you guys so much, but we got to go.
You're all badass for being here. Thanks so much. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.